Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here, and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time, we're at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. If you haven't checked out the last round, go back, go check it out. The Belgian Grand Prix at Spa was an incredible race for us. As you can see, we won our second race of the season. And compared to our first race, it was a very easy win. We fought our way through the field. And yeah, it was pretty dominant from us in the end. We won by 10 seconds from Sergio Perez in second place. So yeah, go back, go check it out. It was a good race, despite the fact that we did dominate the second half of the race when we made our pit stops. But yeah, it was a very good race and worth going back and checking out. But now, here we are at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix, and we're diving straight into qualifying. As I've said in the last few races, we haven't really got time to be doing the Pirelli Hot Lap challenges now because there's so much happening during the race weekend, especially with us now making it out of Q1 quite a lot. So yeah, you can see we're diving straight into qualifying, and it is Q1 as well. And this is our first lap in qualifying as well. And you can see here we're going through these sections. Last time when we did the Dutch Grand Prix in Season 1, we didn't actually set a qualifying lap time. The reason for that was that in both of our attempts in qualifying in Season 1, we actually spun at the same place, and because of us spinning there, we were not able to actually set a qualifying lap. It was here where we spun. We got caught on the curb both times, and with us getting caught on the curb, it pretty much just spun us off into the wall, and that was the end of our qualifying sessions during Season 1. But thankfully, as you can see this time around in Season 2, at least on the first lap, we've been able to get through there without any issues. So we are going to set a qualifying lap time. And the question is now what is that lap time going to be? We've only got one corner to go. The big banking. What can we do now? We go around the banking. Charles Leclerc does a 112.158. What are we going to do now on the run to the line? It is, with the DRS wide open, a 112.4. And that lap is enough to see us through to qualifying 2. So you can see now we go straight into qualifying 2. We're going to go out on a set of the used tyres. So we're actually going to use the same tyres that we used in qualifying 1. We only did one lap in Q1, and we're going to use those same tyres for our run in qualifying 2. So yep, we're going to use the used tyres just because we can. And there's no other reason for it. We're going to do it simply because we can. So let's see, what kind of lap time can we do on this used set of soft compound tyres? In Q1, we managed a 112.4. The track has rubbered in and got a little bit faster since that first lap. And now we round the banking, and what are we going to be able to do? We set a 112.1. Wow, that would have been enough for pole position in Q1. So yeah, that is a great result from us there in the Pulse Motorsport. But at the end of Q2, we put on a fresh set of soft compound tyres, and now on the run to the line, we're going to improve by 1/10, and it's enough for Q3. So it's time for Q3 now, and here we go. This is going to be our fastest lap in qualifying. Here we go now into turn 1. You can see we're currently a 10th down on our first lap. Our bank lap was not a bad lap, I don't think. We did actually spin on our very first lap in Q3, but then we went around again and we set another lap. So we did technically do 2 fastest laps on those soft tyres, and one of them did include a bit of a spin. So we should be able to improve on it now in this final lap on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. It's right here where we spun. We got caught on that dastardly curb once again, just like we did in Q1 in Season 1. But this time, we managed to get through it this time around. You can see here we gained 2/10 through those 2 corners alone because the tyres are just in so much better condition. Now going into that final chicane, can we make up a lot of time in this chicane? We go through the chicane. We made up about 2/10 here, so we're 2/10 under our previous lap. Now around that final banking one final time. It's a fast lap here in Zandvoort. The lap is not very long, and now it's a run to the line. We're 2/10 up. What are we going to set? We're going to set a 112.0 for the race.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zandvoort circuit. We're 25 miles away from Amsterdam for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. And watch out for cars making use of the DRS zone into turn 1 to attempt an overtake. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Norris, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Perez, Prost, Ricciardo, Bennett, and Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Sainz. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Yuki Tsunoda and Albon, Schwartzman, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Kevin Magnussen, Joe, Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
So we gain 1 place with Carlos Sainz having a grid penalty here for the Dutch Grand Prix, and now we're waiting on those 5 red lights, and when they go out like they have now, the Dutch Grand Prix will be underway. Fernando Alonso gets off to a good start. Sainz and Gasly also get past us, but into turn 1 we go down the inside past both Sainz and Gasly to get back up to P10. And Fernando Alonso, he has made a lightning start. He's got past Daniel Ricciardo as well, and he's going to be looking to go right around the outside of teammate Alain Prost. Can he make it stick around the outside? It's going to turn to the inside. I don't think he's done it. Yes, he has. Fernando Alonso off the line has got myself, Ricciardo, and teammate Alain Prost. What a start that is for Fernando Alonso, making absolute maximum use of those soft compound tyres. And guys, if you guys are enjoying this series at any point, please do, as always, smash the like button down below and leave a comment. And if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel for more F1 content, because we've got so much more F1 content coming your guys' ways over the next couple of weeks. Now back to this race, and you can see Fernando Alonso has made it, and he's made it stick on teammate Prost. Prost is doing a fantastic job. Prost, of course, came back after the Austrian Grand Prix. He rejoined Motorsports and joined Pulse Motorsports for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and in both Budapest and at Spa has scored points for us, and is so far going to be scoring even more points for Pulse Motorsports. So yeah, the return of F1 to F1 for Alain Prost has been absolutely splendid for us so far, and currently he is ahead of us in this Grand Prix. And I've got to say, in qualifying, Prost has been the better driver between the both of us when it comes to setting that 1 lap. In the race, though, it has been a little bit closer between us, and you can see here currently we are probably a little bit faster than Prost. That being said, it does look like he is pulling away from us a little bit. Just as I say, we are a bit close. But you can see there, on the second lap, you can see that the 50-meter board there has actually been removed. And the reason for that, I believe, is because if you look on the minimap, there's an Alfa Romeo that is a long way behind everyone else, it has to be said. And I have a feeling that Alfa Romeo had contact with another driver and has broken the 50-meter board as well. So we're going to have to guess where the braking zone is, because I do typically use the 50-meter board to know exactly where to brake for that corner, but that's now not there. So we're going to be guessing where to brake for that corner for the remainder of this Grand Prix. And now you see we start lap 3 here at Zandvoort, and we're going to go down the inside on Alain Prost. Can we make it stick? Yes, we do. Prost gives us the space. He doesn't want to fight us, of course. We are teammates, and in the race I am a little bit faster than Alain Prost, so he does give me the space, which is a good thing to do for Prost for us in this Grand Prix. Now we go to the end of lap 4, and look at this. We have closed up to the back then of Fernando Alonso, who's also closed up to the back of Lando Norris. Norris is holding up Alonso and myself, and now we're going to get the DRS, and using the ERS we're going to look to go down the inside on Fernando Alonso. Can we make it stay? We're going wheel to wheel, and Alonso has to give us a space. So we take the, I was almost said take the lead there of the Grand Prix. We don't quite take the lead. We take P7 from Fernando Alonso, but Alonso is going to try and come back at us there in the bowl section, and we did make slight contact there. He went to dive down the inside. He didn't break his front wing though, but he did lose a bit of momentum versus us there. Now we go to the end of lap number 5, and look at this, we are right behind Lando Norris, and once again with the DRS and the ERS, we're going to look to go right down the inside on Lando Norris. The Pulse Motorsport car is much faster in a straight line than the McLaren. The McLaren is still the slowest car in a straight line. So for us, we can just fly straight past the McLaren, which is it's just too slow in a straight line. I have a feeling they may struggle a little bit at the next race at Monza. And yeah, Lando Norris is still leading the Drivers' Championship, of course, but his main rival in the Drivers' Championship, Charles Leclerc, is currently leading this Grand Prix. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can stay there leading that Grand Prix. Because if he does, then Charles Leclerc is going to retake the lead of this Drivers' Championship. Now we go to lap number 12, start to lap 13, and into the pits comes Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen here, very interestingly, going from the soft tyres to now the medium compound tyres. So Red Bull, they're doing the strategy that I'm going for. They're going to use the 2 softest tyres in this Grand Prix. Into the pits now comes Perez, and Perez also goes on to a set of the medium compound tyres. So that's interesting now that Red Bull are at a point where they feel that they can get away with the 2 softest compound of tyres, just like we can in these races. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out in the rest of this race.
I've got some information on Hamilton for you. They've got some kind of mechanical problem.
So Hamilton, as we go to lap 16, has a mechanical issue. We've just been told by Mark over the team radio. Mark Priestley, they're telling us that Hamilton has got an issue. And look at this, instantaneously we have gained about 4 or 5 tenths of a second on Lewis Hamilton. So it does look like that Mercedes is falling a little bit sick, and it is wailing a little bit now. And look at this, the gap now 8 tenths of a second. The question is can we get Hamilton at the first chance of asking through this DRS zone that we're coming up to now? Are we going to be close enough to try and move past Hamilton into the chicane? We're going to get the DRS, of course. It's only 4 tenths of a second. Here we go now, DRS and DRS. We're getting closer and closer to Lewis Hamilton. Now we're going to be close enough to go for a move down the inside. No, we're not. We're a little bit too far back. But we just need to stick with him here, and we're going to have him surely down the pit straight. We are going to be up to P3 in this Dutch Grand Prix. Now, here we go. We get a good exit. Now we slipstream and DRS. We're going to look to go round the outside. Coming on Hamilton. We're almost in the wall there. That was so close to being in the wall there with Lewis Hamilton. But through we go right around the outside. There's nothing Hamilton can do. He's not got the tyres. And we take the position from Lewis Hamilton. Carlos Sainz, you can see there on the minimap, is out of the Dutch Grand Prix. His car has broken down. And as he's doing that, Charles Leclerc dives into the pits to go from the medium tyres to the hard compound tyres, which will take him to the end of this Dutch Grand Prix. And you can see he's come out just in front of Max Verstappen, who is, as I said before, on those medium compound tyres. And now we go to lap 24, and you see we're going to be diving into the pits to go off these medium tyres and go on to a set of the soft compound tyres, which will take us to the end of this Dutch Grand Prix. You can see we lose positions to Perez, Russell, Leclerc and Max Verstappen. So Charles Leclerc retakes the lead of this Grand Prix, but he has got Max Verstappen on those medium tyres all over the back of him, and it'll be interesting to see if he can hold off Max Verstappen towards the end of this Grand Prix. Now, as you can see, we've just gone onto a set of soft compound tyres, so we're going to be looking to set a fastest lap in this Grand Prix. Now, last season in the Dutch Grand Prix, we did a 1:15.640. You can see we've already beaten last season's fastest lap because we've already done a 1:14.169. So we're already 1.5 seconds faster than we were last season. But now we've got these soft compound tyres. Let's see just how much faster we can go than last season. So we're already 1.5 seconds faster than we were last season. Let's see what we can do with these soft tyres. We'll go purple through sector 1. And the gap between us and Perez also 8 seconds at the end of sector 1. Let's see what that is by the end of the lap as well, because that's going to be very interesting, because I have a feeling we can take about a second a lap out of Sergio Perez, and if we can do that, then by the end of this Grand Prix, we're going to be all over the back of Sergio Perez, and if you look on the mini-map, we'll also be all over the back of George Russell, and we might even be ahead of both of those guys, and we might still yet be able to score a podium in this Dutch Grand Prix. Now, as you see, we got purple in Sector 2, and now we're going to be going around the banking, and on the exit of the bank, and it's a run to the line. What time is it going to be? It was 1:14.1, it's now 1:12.7, and that is almost 3 seconds faster than we were last season. We actually set another fastest lap during the race a little bit later on, because as you can see, our best lap is now 1:12.5. So actually, yes, we did go a full 3 seconds faster around Zandvoort than we did in Season 1, which is just incredible. I mean, with the amount of ERS that we have got to use, it's not really surprising that we are so much faster in the races, because we just got so much more ERS to use, which means we can use overtake for a lot of the lap, and with that we are able to absolutely just send it and go about a second or two faster than what we can do without using the ERS. So yeah, a huge amount of time is found just through those ERS upgrades, plus of course in general the car is a lot better, and as I've said before, I've gotten a lot better at the game. Now as you see, we are on the final lap of the Dutch Grand Prix, and we are all over the back then of Sergio Perez. Now it's going to be interesting to see if we can get some good exits here. We use the DRS now, and DRS and ERS to get closer and closer to Perez. We're too far back to try and move, but maybe, just maybe, if we get a good run through this final banking, we might be able to get a run at Sergio Perez like we did with Lewis Hamilton earlier in the race. Are we going to be able to do it using the ERS now? Perez's red light comes on, he's run out of ERS, we're getting closer and closer, but we just have to settle for P5 here at Zandvoort.
That was to take the win for Ferrari today. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
So with a result like that, Charles Leclerc has almost certainly retaken the lead of the Drivers' Championship, which is exactly what the Tifosi want to see, because of course the next race is at Monza, the home of Ferrari, and what better place for Ferrari to celebrate 75 years and the lead of the Drivers' Championship than to celebrate it at Monza. So as I said, Charles Leclerc wins the Dutch Grand Prix from Max Verstappen in second place, George Russell third, Perez fourth, we finish fifth, Norris down in sixth, Alain Prost finishes a brilliant seventh, Hamilton in eighth, Ricciardo ninth, and Fernando Alonso rounds out the top 10 here at Zandvoort. And only one driver did not finish the Grand Prix, and that was Carlos Sainz. Now to the drivers' standings, and as I said, Charles Leclerc takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship, and we are just about still in 6th place in the Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors, Pulse Motorsport is still in P5 in the Constructors. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you did, as always, please comment, leave a like, and if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for the Italian Grand Prix. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.